What's up, guys? Welcome to the Stats Free Sports channel. Here to bring you another draft profile slash scouting report video. This time it's on Malik Washington out of UVA. Let's get into it, guys. So, wide receiver Malik Washington out of UVA. He's been on my radar for a while now. A few months ago, when I was getting into the draft content, I did a too early, mid to late round draft prospects video, giving you my top. I think it was top 7 in that video, and he was mentioned in that video. I like him a lot. He's been on my radar, and we did not see this coming for us college football fans. So prior to UVA, and let me clarify. I mean, that was a weird sentence. I didn't see his eruption in 2023 coming with UVA. At first, he was with Northwestern the first prior years of his college football, and he was good. He was solid, showed promise, but the inconsistent quarterback play really kind of hampered him and hampered a lot of athletes at Northwestern. So he transferred to UVA, and he went off. Grad transfer, um, came in the game and shook up UVA's offense. He was their main source of offense for 2023. 110 passes, 1,400 yards, 9 touchdowns, broke some single season records for UVA, and definitely had some pretty great moments there. Also, getting to height and weight, which will lead to some pros and cons. Height 5'8", weight 192. As I said, redshirt junior, grad transfer to UVA. And let's get into some strengths. And I said this back in that video not too long ago, just a few months back. He's an ultra explosive, high energy athlete. Hyperactive twitch. Has some speed. He ran in the 4.4s, I think 4.47, 4.44, but I think he's faster with the ball in his hands. I think he has some more speed to burn than what the 40 times shows. And when the ball hit his hands, he's a playmaker. He's a yak guy. He's a rack guy. Both yards after catch and stuff like that. So he can definitely do all those things. Once the ball hit his hands, he's definitely fast. Fast, speedy, quick, all that good stuff. So he's a ball of energy, but as well, he's also built pretty strong as well. 5'8", 192, pretty bricked up. Top and bottom. Built like a little mini running back, built like a little bowling ball. So that's he's if you watch his games, he's not easy to bring down. He's a smaller guy. He definitely seen guys who aren't willing to bring the boom. They will bounce off, and he can shrug them off and keep running to get more yards. So he's one of the better yak guys, yards after catch, in this class as far as receiver goes. Someone I did a video on last week or two, Malachi Corley, kind of sort of in the same vein. I think Corley's a little bit slower than Malik Washington, but in the same vein, 5'10", around, I think a little bit heavier, but they give you the short running back kind of receiver stocky style, and remind you like a Debo Samuel. I think Malik Washington gives you a smaller Debo Samuel, obviously being 5'8", but he gives you those same vibes as Malachi Corley. Another strength of his as well, strong hands, strong, dependable hands across the middle. That's something major. You don't see that in every wide receiver. Some receivers are just deep threats, especially smaller guys. They're just deep threats, and that's it. He gives you across the middle work. He gives you, he'll take a hitting across the middle. And like I said, if you don't bring that boom, he can bounce off, stay on his feet, and keep going. He is built strong, so that's something he's good at as well. Something I love for him a whole lot. That can really make him play early and stand out from other prospects and other guys, and even some veterans. He's very good at off-script plays. He's very good at getting open when the quarterback has to scramble. He's if you watch UVA film, and also it's kind of different because he was the focal point too. So it's kind of like they were trying to find him, but when the quarterback scrambles, when the play gets broken up, and he has to just get rid of the ball, Malik Washington was always there. He was always in the quarterback's field of vision. He's always around, trying to help his quarterback and making it easy for him to find him. And that's something that's very important in any era of the NFL, especially now when more passing and all that stuff. When plays get broken down, when it's unstructured, that's when some of these guys like Pat Mahomes, who the Chiefs have been in the mix to maybe get Malik Washington. Sky Moore hasn't quite worked out. A lot of people seem to think that they're going to go Xavier Worthy or A.D. Mitchell at the end of the first, but maybe they might wait till day 3 or still go Xavier Worthy or one of those guys at the end of the first, and then they might get Malik Washington later on in the draft as well. He was someone that could take over that Tony role, take over that Sky Moore role, because neither one of those guys has panned out as of right now. So that's a team to watch for as far as Malik Washington. But yeah, strong catcher across the field, great in unstructured scramble plays, and he's a fluid route runner. Uh, but that also some good hand strength as well. Not the greatest at contested catches, but he can convert some of those contested catches, convert some clutch downs that are tight man on man coverage. He can definitely come away with the ball as well. Not the greatest, like not the best in the class at contested catches, but he definitely has some strong hands and can fight for the ball at the highest point and bring it down a good amount of times as well. On to some negatives. Obviously, being his size, 5'8", he's going to most likely struggle with press coverage. And with that being the case, he will probably be strictly labeled as a slot receiver. So that's why, in my opinion, he can't go high in the draft, because you plain slot guys don't really, unless you're a freak like Brian Thomas, who can be outside guys as well. But just if you're just not a freak athlete, you're probably not going to be, a slot pick in any draft class. So Malik Washington, being 5'8", he's going to probably be a mainly a slot guy, going to deal with the press coverage on the outside, even the slot as well. So that's something he has to work with and fight with his hands and stuff like that, and use his quickness to get off of these guys, these bigger, stronger cornerbacks. That's something he has to adjust to right away. But as well as his route tree. His route tree isn't a expansive one. Pretty basic, slant screens, uh, cross route, stuff like that. Go route, stuff like that. Nothing really too expansive, too crazy. That can be worked on, but as I said, being a go-to guy at UVA, same as Malachi Corley. Like I said, they're kind of the same, kind of sort of the same player. Corley's a little bit bigger, but both of those guys really lack a deep bag in the route tree. Like, compare him to Lad McConkey. Compare him to Ricky Parasol from Florida. They have a bag. They have a route tree bag. They can create separation. Malachi Corley and Malik Washington, excuse me, they really rely on their speed, their quickness, stuff like that, their quick twitch to really break away from some of these guys. Also, he doesn't really have the size to box out guys at the catch point. That comes with the size thing as well. The con to being 5'8". Jump balls and stuff or deep passes, he really has to go up and get it. He can't really, like some bigger guys can box you out, and like he's not really a good red zone threat in certain schemes, certain offenses, certain moments. So he's not really a red zone guy down in the 20, 15-yard lines and close to the end zone. He's not, he still can get in the game, obviously, but certain formations, but he's not going to be one of the main guys on the field during that time. Also, his vertical speed. As I said earlier, he ran I believe a 4.47. 4.47. I'm not mistaken, 4.4 something, 4.44. But basically, he runs fast with the ball in his hands, but he's still not an elite. He's not an elite speed guy. He has some good speed. He's faster with the ball in his hands, sure, but he's not an elite speed guy like you would think, being that size. So that's something as well. So on those vertical routes, vertical speed, his vertical speed isn't blow by automatically like a Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is definitely a one of one. He may look like Hill and be built like Hill, but he's not as fast as Tyreek Hill is. Also, he's a short strider, so that limits his range downfield as well. On those vertical routes. One more thing as well that I noticed watching the film of Malik Washington is on those slant routes, on those cross routes or across the middle, he doesn't hit top speed. At least in the vertical routes and some other routes, he hits top speed and can catch it in stride and go. in the vertical, excuse me, in the crossing routes or the slant routes across the middle, he doesn't really hit top speed. He has to catch the ball first, and then has to rack up his speed and hit another gear and go. But as I said, that's when the linebacker, the safety will probably come down and hit him. But he relies on bouncing off and breaking tackles, and then he yaks up, get some yak there. But if he can start hitting routes across the middle more with more speed, he can catch and go and maybe get an angle on some of these guys. Like I said, he's not elite speed guy, but he has some quick twitch, some juke, some spin. He has some getaway moves, but he really doesn't have the elite speed, or he doesn't use it. The very strong speed he has, he doesn't use it across the middle as much. I'm not sure he's trying to brace for a hit, or just this is how he does it and catch the balls and then go, or he tries to not go so fast, can brace for a hit, maybe take it and then bounce off and continues to go. So that's something I like to see him work on as well. Going across the middle, going a little faster, full speed, catch and go. If the hit comes, it comes. It's easy to say it as a fan sitting on the couch, but it is scary going across the middle. I'm not gonna lie. So, but that's something as well. I think he could probably work on. A couple more things as well. As at the press coverage, he'll be an older rookie. Being a fifth-year senior, slightly older rookie. That's not too crazy. It's nothing bad. Say a lot of stuff, just route running. He's not a real crisp route runner. Solid, but nothing too crazy. Not the greatest footwork either. Can be worked on, and also his catch radius is not the biggest. So he kind of has to be in the zone. If not, it's going to be overthrown or too high, too low, too far to the right, left, whatever. So stuff like that. His catch radius isn't the biggest. He can jump, can dive, and all that stuff with the ball. You've seen that on tape. But in the NFL, the window gets even smaller, so you got to be pinpoint with him. Not pinpoint, but you got to be close to the mark with him. He's not gonna be super duper spectacular catch guy. He's not gonna be one of those guys, most likely. So but overall, that's Malik Washington. Um, One of my favorite prospects in this year's class, probably late day 2, early day 3 guy, just because of the size, just because he's a strictly slot guy. But I would love to see teams use him as a gadget guy. A little bit of running back, maybe a little bit of jet sweeps and screens and slants and all that stuff everywhere. RPOs, put him everywhere. Wildcat, maybe even just find him the ball in certain depending on the team obviously, but find him the ball in certain situations. I think he'll be just fine. But we'll see how everything shakes out for him. Hope the best for him and all these other prospects in this year's class. Next one you see from me probably will be Jermaine Burton, my outright favorite player from this class. But we'll definitely see. There are some guys I like a lot that I could do before Burton, but most likely Jermaine Burton, Alabama wide receiver, will be next on my list. But that's it for the video, guys. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys next time.